Hi and welcome to today's webinar for Amy Plus Training, and today we're going to look at your stats and reporting with a special focus on MSD and how to get the information out of Amy that you need for your end of year MSD funding application. So let's go.
All right, let's jump straight in. So if I share here, cool. You should be able to see our daily attendance screen. And what this is a My Stats page. So if you go under Reports, and you'll see under Daily Attendance, we have a My Stats page. Now the idea with this page is that it includes all the attendance data for, or attendance numbers rather, for your programs that have occurred in the past. So if we go across the tabs here, we have after school care, before school care, holiday, and they each show the attendances respectively. In the top right hand side, you'll see a key here. We have total booking, attendance, absent, and casual. So you'll see that those four colors display across this page, showing you exactly what those keys explain. We have the bookings, we have the attendances, we have any absences for the programs and any casual bookings that are made in, just to give you a breakdown of each of those segments. So if we go from left-hand side to the right-hand side, you'll see on this booked versus attended, the whole point of this section is that you can actually see the different stats for the current week. So we're in Tuesday today, and you'll be able to, you can see that we have 19 that were booked in, 19 attended, there were none that were absent, and there were 5 that were casual for Monday, and then Tuesday you have numbers there too. Now, you'll see that there's different colors across this chart in terms of green. So you'll see in the top right hand corner we have a key for that, and this little info text box will give you a breakdown if you open it. But essentially the dark green is achieved target. So the target is set for, at the moment we kind of set it at what you need in terms of numbers to be breaking even. So an average for what programs kind of need to be breaking even in terms of costs. So for after school care, the target is 20 per day, and before school care, it's 15. So,
and in the future, that will be something that you can set for
yes,
your own site or business as your own target.
Yeah, but at the moment, the target is just that set number. So you'll see here that the dark green is target has been achieved. So the target's 20 for these for the site, the client demo site. So we have 22 being achieved, and then the light green you'll see here is target -3, so it's within 3 attendances of meeting that target. So you'll see that it's 19, which is why it's highlighted as light green. All right, so that explains the book versus attendance and the target. We also have a column here that's average per week, so it gives you the average of the current week. So you'll see that the 19 and the 22 has averaged out to 20 and a half total bookings, and then 18 attendances as the average. Then we have the average for the current term alongside it. Again, the same principle as average per week. And then we have the plus minus. So this gives you a comparison of this current term to the last current term. So that info text box, if you hover over it, shows growth equals the average of the current term booking minus the average of the previous term booking. So you see here we're down 0.1 of an attendance per day this term compared to last term. And then to the right hand side of that, we have the term 1 weekly averages starting on these dates. So we're starting the 1st of Feb, 8th of Feb, 15th of Feb, and this just gives you a breakdown of everything that has occurred in term 1 in terms of weekly average numbers.
Yeah, and that will always show you the most recent school term.
Yes, correct. And then on the right-hand side, you'll see there's a section here for historic data. So we have the term 1, 2016 data, term 4, 2015, term 3, 2015, term 2, and it'll go back as you go further right on that page. And you'll see for these ones, for instance, in this account, the only term where we've actually achieved the target would be this term 3, which is why it showed dark green. All the other ones we've missed the target according to the numbers in our system. Awesome. All right, so if we go, I'll just touch on these reports really quickly. This allows you to export these stats into reports for a single day, a single week. This one allows you to export in terms of just terms, so term time, either during the holiday, or the school term. Then we have monthly and yearly exports as well. So clicking on those will allow you to actually download all the stats into an Excel file, and then you can use them as you wish. So we're going to hop into, if we go reports, MSD report. So this is a report that we have actually designed to help you with your MSD reporting. It's specifically created for that purpose. So if we go drop down on the data types, we are actually able to filter what pulls through onto the report. So we have absences, bookings, casual, attendance. For the sake of this, we will keep all of these checked, but you can select whichever ones you would like in there. And then we can also, if there's a franchise structure, break down what the franchisee, master franchise structure is and the site that we're going to use.
And if you don't, just leave it as it is.
Yeah. If you don't, there will only be one option for you there. So it's quite self-explanatory. And then we have to choose the program category. So we can choose which of these we actually want to export for. We're going to click after school care to get an export for that. And then the start and end date. For the sake of MSD, we're going to go 1st of April 2015 to the 31st of March 2016. Cool. So once we have those filters in place, we can click run report.
So this is going to pull through a report for obviously the previous year of data, and where of course that data is not there because you started aiming partway through a year.
Yeah.
You'll obviously need to use your own system, your old system,
yes,
to export this into an Excel spreadsheet, add the previous month's data or term's data that you've been missing, so you can get your grand totals.
Yeah. So let's do that really quickly. If I go to export, it's that little export icon that looks like a little floppy disk save with a little green arrow. You will then select Excel. So this is designed to be exported in Excel form. So if you click on that Excel, it will then bring a download. I'm just going to open it up here. Awesome. Great. So you'll see here we have the export with all the data that's pulled through. Now, with this, like Dean said, if you have data that you have in an old system that you need to import, this is where you'd be able to do that. So you just expand or add columns, insert rows, and then just add that data in as you need. So if I'll zoom in quickly here just so we can see what we're doing. A little bit more. Great. So the idea with this is that we have term by term basis. So on term 3, it breaks it down into each of the week's periods. So the first week here, it'll show the total attendances for that whole week. So we have 65 attendances in that whole week. 65 bookings in that whole week, 1 attendance, 64 absences, and no casual bookings made. So those are the overall attendances. And then on the right-hand side, it breaks it down into daily averages. So it takes that 65, divides it through 5, and then you get an average. So on that first week of term 3, we have 16.3 bookings per day over that average over the course of the week. Then we have also the attendances average per week or by week, and then the absences daily average by week. So it gives you a good overview of each of the weekly breakdowns. Underneath these stats, you'll see the total. So what it's now looking at is, instead of by week, we're looking at the by term stats. So these are the total numbers by term. So in the whole term, there were 722 sessions that were booked in, 47 attendances, 675 absences. Obviously, we hope that you'd have more attendances than that.
Shocking program, Luke.
But yeah, so this is just dummy data, but the idea is that you'll be able to see all the totals there. And then just underneath that, we'll have daily average by term. So again, it's the daily averages, but instead of breaking it down by weeks, what it does is it works out the averages of all of these stats, and it gives us over the whole term, the average bookings per day is 14.8. And then you can read the data along just in the same way. So if we go to the bottom of this report, you'll see here that we have an overall total. So this takes all the data on the whole report that we've exported in that date range, and gives us the overall stats. So the overall bookings that were made is 4,668 sessions booked in, 400 attendances, 4,268 absences, and 26 casual. So obviously your numbers would look different to that, but that's kind of how it's pulled through. And then the average by total. So the daily average for the whole period. Yeah. So the idea for this is that it fills out part 2 of the OSCAR funding application. Question 12 asks for your daily average actual attendance number. So that is attendance. So your daily average actual attendance would be this one here. So that's the attendance over that whole period daily. And then the question 13 of that form will ask you for your daily average booking numbers. And so this is the one here, the booking daily averages for the whole period. And so I suppose you can use these 2 fields to fill out part 2 of that OSCAR funding application.
Yeah, question 12 and 13.
Yeah.
And just to refresh you, you can see the headings at the top there. All right, your average bookings and attendances, and go to the bottom and see your averages for that whole period.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, so if we go now into the attendance report, so there will be cases where MSD will ask to see the evidence for how you got those figures, and the way that you would be able to show them would be through the attendance report. So if I hop into reports, attendance report, you will actually be able to select here in the drop down what term you'd like the attendance report for. So for instance here we'll select term 1 2016 as our term, and we will actually go 1st of Feb. So we're going to, because it automatically selects the current date as the only date selected, we want a date range. So we're going to select the 1st of February to get the whole term to the 15th of April. Yeah.
So whatever MSD basically asks you with regards to the sample of data they want to back up your stats.
Yes.
This is how you just put in your date range.
Yeah. So you have your date range program. So we're going to go after school care because that's what we exported before. And we're going to give evidence for that. And then there's also the ability here to filter the records based on a single parent or a single child. We're not going to do that. We're going to leave it blank. And it says here, search here, in brackets, empty for all. So we're going to leave that empty and click on the view button. And so as you'll see here, it starts to load a page or a report that has all the data on it. Great. So what it does is it works out based on child. So you'll see Ashish here has been grouped for all their attendances in the one term. So we'll have all the dates here, program, start, end time, attended. Any descriptions that have been entered there will pull through onto this form. Sign in times, sign out times, signatures, everything all pulls through for the children.
The descriptions there will be the reasons for absences, right?
Correct, yeah. So in this here, this field, that will be any reason that they give for absences will show there. So if we scroll down to the bottom of the page, we have included a total number section. So you can actually see the number of booked, the number of attended, and the number of absent for the program, just to back up those numbers and so that they're showing the same figures on both sides. For this one, you can export. So either if you go in the attendance report, download, but from viewing the attendance report, you can just print in the top right-hand corner and save it as a PDF. And you will then be able to email it or use it how you wish as a PDF. Yeah. All right. And I suppose we will quickly touch on other reports that are in the system. Some of the more common reports being used are firstly the child contacts report. Let me open this one up. Child contacts report. Great. So the idea with this one, we've got a date range. We're just going to run it for today's date. The idea with the child contacts report is it will show all the details for children in that date range. So it shows all the parent details, guardian contact info. Let me choose a different date range so we can actually see. I'm going to just choose term 1 2016. Cool, and it automatically pulls through those details. So this is a report that's pulled through for all the children that have bookings in term 1. Now there's 5 pages here. If you exported this, you would actually get that all on one page, but essentially this is just a way for you to have all the details for all the children and a date range on site. And I suppose that's just for precautionary measure. It's very good for holiday programs. If you plan on going on a trip, you can export all the details for kids on that day and take it with you. Another similar report, which is handy to have on site, is the conditions and allergy reports. And so these are the ways for you to have on hand any medical conditions that people have on site, or any allergies in case there's food or baking or cooking or anything that goes on site. You have access to those at hand. Another one would be the non-authorized pickups report. Now, if I click on this one here, unauthorized pickup is what it's labeled here. So again, I'm just going to select term 1, 2016, run report. So what it has done now is for the whole of the term, it has shown me all the children who have unauthorized pickups. So you'll see here that it's got the child's name, the name of the unauthorized pickup, any relation, any action to carry through on if that person turns up on site, and then also the contact details for the parent so that you're able to contact the parent in that case.
That little icon just shows you that there is actually a photo in the system. So obviously we're not printing the photo out there, but it's letting you know that if you went into Amy, you would see a photo of the unauthorized pickup
against their profile. So if you went onto the profile of the child, you would be able to see these unauthorized pickup photos. All right, and then I'll just quickly touch on what each of these other reports do. Just going through it quickly. So starting at the top, actually, the first thing is report subscription. This allows you to automatically email staff to receive the child roll sheet. So the roll sheet is this report here. And the idea with this is that you can, if I open and link a new tab. Okay, the idea with the roll sheet, term 1, 2016, is what I want. And I'll choose one with a lot of attendances. Yeah, view. The idea with the roll sheet is it's a manual roll sheet, just like you used to have on site and you sign. The idea is that we have the ability to print these so that you can, in case of emergency, have these on hand. Or if you're in a transition period, you can actually use this to get parents used to the system before you just get them on the sign-in. Obviously, if you can, we definitely recommend you do everything online. A lot easier with the integration and reconciliation of the data.
It's going to save a lot of time because you won't have to go back and actually put that information back into Amy. So try and do it on the iPad or your device. And then, as Luke was saying, the whole idea really of that report subscription is that this is like a crisis backup plan B. So basically you can have this set to email you this report, say midnight the night before every day.
Correct.
And that would come through your email, and you've always got a copy of that day's roll sitting on your device, so that if the internet went down or there was a natural disaster of some sort, earthquake, etc., you would always have a copy of who was supposed to turn up.
Exactly. So that's what the report subscription does. And
before we move on, don't forget that we will be getting a cased version. So that's what we just explained there is like a fallback position is temporary. And towards sort of the mid to later part of this year, we're releasing an app that will allow you to have cached data, which means that you won't need to be on the internet to have the latest information. If your device is in range, it'll update. If it goes out of range, you can use it and it will update again when it goes back into range.
Great. Awesome. So that's what the report subscription and child roll sheet look like. Driver roll sheet is very similar in the fact that it operates the same way as a child roll sheet, just it has all the people to pick up on a driver pickup list, just so that there's a paper form of that driver pickup sheet on hand. Now we have the attendance report, which we showed you before, which is after the fact. You can actually see all the attendance data, signatures, details of previous programs. The driver pickup report is very similar to that. It's just like the difference between the driver roll sheet and child roll sheet. It gives you all the details for people picked up in the past for driver pickups. Then going down, we have I've explained all of those ones. We have staff roster report. Now this allows you to export staff roster just into a report so that you can hand it to employees if need be, or use that data for any reason. And then we also have a timesheet report, which gives you a summarized version of the timesheet, which is really handy because if you need to input that into a payroll system or use those figures to help with payroll, you can do that straight from the timesheet report, which you can export. And then we have My Stats, which I showed you, and Network Stats is like My Stats, but if you have a multi-site structure. So My Stats just shows the single site that you're currently logged in as. Network Stats shows all the sites and allows you to compare the different sites against each other.
Yeah, and against the network that you belong to. Exactly. So if you're a part of a wider group of providers, you'll be able to cross-reference data and do some comparisons.
Awesome.
So we really encourage you to go and click on each of those reports and have a good play. Yeah. You can't break anything, all right? But it's what's most important is that you know what's available for you in the area of reporting, statistics, and of course wrapping up just on the MSD funding so that you can put the right details in the right boxes. Yeah.
Awesome. All right, that pretty much wraps up everything to do with reporting and MSD stats. So I think we're going to say goodbye for now.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for attending.